if you want to see a fight break out on the internet...
Are you threatening me? You do not want to face the wrath of my bunghole!
There are a few subjects you can ask an open-ended question to that will absolutely ignite the pants of the keyboard warrior nation.
Dude. Well, I guess you've got a point there.
One of which, what's the best caliber to carry? 45 or 9mm. That one will rile some folks up in a hurry and will get very entertaining. And yeah. And there's the best part, my favorite part. Oh, God love him. There is always that one guy, that one poor 40 Smith & Wesson guy that's gonna show up and, I have the best of both worlds. My 40 short and wimpy is awesome. Oh, bless your heart, 40 Smith & Wesson. Bless your heart.
Are you aiming for these people? No. Maybe that mime.
Let me do a quick disclaimer. I don't really have anything against 40 short and wimpy, personally. Do I object to its existence because the FBI couldn't handle the staggering recoil of the 10mm cartridge? Yeah, kinda. Jeff Cooper's rolling over in his grave. But my issues with 40 are more from a gunsmithing standpoint. 40 is used in firearms designed for 9mm, and it just destroys them. 40, from a standpoint of external ballistics and terminal ballistics, is fine, I guess, if that's what you want. I don't really see the need for it, but hey, I don't see the need for a lot of things. Anyway, we're getting off onto a rant here. See how easy that was? Another one is the 1911. When you talk about a 1911, there has to be the Glock debate brought in. And my Glock is better, it's more reliable, it's lighter, it's cheaper. I got it. You know, a Camry is less money than a GT500. I got it. But ain't nobody in the world excited to take the cover off their Camry and just take it out and run it. So let's put all that aside. Now that I've ranted for 3 minutes unintentionally.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
We're going to talk about 1911 magazines, specifically in God's caliber of 45 AARP. I love 45. It's primarily what I carry other than 10mm. All I carry is 1911. I don't care. I don't even have anything else because don't judge me.
For what? Arresting me for what? I'm not allowed to stand up for myself? I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
So 10mm magazines are a bit of a different critter, and I didn't include them in this because, yeah, no. So we're just gonna be talking about 45. And 9mm, same thing in 1911. I don't own a 9mm 1911. I've never shot a 9mm 1911 because I don't get why they exist. You want a 9mm? Get a Glock. I mean, come on. So, starting off here, these two magazines are both factory Colt. Yeah, I know. I like Colt. Leave me alone. This one is a flush fit, and it is a 7-round. It's a decent magazine. Comes with the gun. I use it for my range bag. Is there a reason? No. Never had a problem. Never had a failure. Never had an issue. But I don't want one. So, This is a factory Colt 8-round flush fit. Depending upon Colt and the voices in their head that particular month, normally I want to say most of them are made by Metgar. I think the Colt's outsourced a lot, and Colt don't know what they have done half the time, I don't think. But there's something I want to bring to attention. This guy up front, my tactical pointer, this is an 8-round magazine. This is a 7-round magazine. Both fit flush. Both are the same size. How can that be? That's because the spring in this one is shorter and is condensed down further, where the spring in this one has a bit more room. What does that mean? Well, spring compression, longevity, and just reliability. We'll get into that a bit more. These magazines are, for most intents and purposes, pretty close to identical. We've got a different follower on the 8-round than we do the 7, and a piece of dog hair. 8-round, 7, and the cut. Let's see if we can get a little bit better light on the situation here. The cut is a little bit different here on the 7 than it is the 8, right? Yep, 8, 7. So follower different, cut a little bit different. Other than that, pretty much the same thing. Anything wrong with these? Nope. Keep them in my range bag. Never had an issue with them. So the astute amongst you may look at these two and think, huh, those look pretty close to the same thing. And very honestly, they are. This is a company called ACT, A-C-T. They make magazines for an awful lot of people. They're based out of Italy. One of the largest people they supply would be SIG Sauer, right here. Different color, holes a little different. Magazine's basically the same. ACT mags work in all SIGs. Like the SIG P220, that would be a SIG mag. That's, I think they're like 60 bucks. The ACT mags, I think, are like 20. Use that as you will. So, anything wrong with either one of these? No. I've had very, very good luck with both of them. Like I said, really, other than lipstick and mascara, we're talking about basically the same magazine. The SIG has, we've got the SIG on this side. SIG has a little bit different follower. And I don't know if the spring is the same. It looks the same. So, both solid magazines, both modestly priced magazines. Not really anything bad I can say about them. I keep them in the range bag, never really had a problem. All right, moving in. Wilson Combat. Oh boy. So, hang on. I need some caffeine. Thank you, 5-Hour Energy.
A man drink like that and he don't eat, he is going to die.
When?
Wilson Combat has those that love it and has probably equally as many people who dislike them. Call them Wilson fanboys. I don't really care one way or the other. I do like Wilson Combat magazines. That's what all these are. But there's quite a bit of difference between them. Well, okay, there's a difference between all of them. So let's start on the end. These two monstrosities are Wilson Combat's flagship magazine. And it is endorsed by the man himself, the Lav, Larry Vickers. Do I have a single complaint with these two magazines? I don't. The price tag sucks. Last I checked, they were out of stock. but I want to say they were going for close to 75 bucks a piece. What don't I like about it? I have heard some people say it doesn't feed in their gun well. I have never experienced that. I have had extremely good luck with these. I actually carry these, well, I carry this one on my belt. I like the fact it's relatively sealed as opposed to the extremes, the 500s here, that are pretty open. What don't I like? This gigantic UGG boot that they borrowed from your girlfriend on the bottom of it. I get it. It's so if it's in the gun and the gun has a failure of the magazine, you can grab it and rip it out. There is a ton to purchase here. It is a very secure grip. It actually fits and works very, very well for that. The downside is it sticks out a ton, and an effort to conceal this thing. This magazine sticks out here a ton as it is. Let's go with, well, I guess don't make a difference. They're both flush fit. Let's look at the difference. This is flush fit. And these are exactly even. That's what you have sticking out of your gun right there. Let's try to zoom in. Oh, my phone hates doing this, so we're gonna bring you to it. That's a pretty substantial amount. Both of these are 8 rounds. So what does that mean? That means the spring on this Vickers is compressing a lot less than the spring on this Colt. Over time, couldn't that make a difference? I'm thinking it probably could. But what do we do to get around this gigantic UGG boot? Because let's be honest, not only is it ugly, but it's just huge and in the way. And yeah, great for range use, great for range use. Sucks to live with. This thing just, you can see how far it sticks out. That just digs into you. It's a pain in the butt. So, for the ones I carry, I upgraded to, of course, it's got to be branded because it's got the kiss of awesomeness on it. These are the slimline metal base plates, and it reduces a ton of surface area. That's a pretty substantial amount. You can see it's not showing up the greatest, but this is a lot easier to live with than this. I keep them this way on just range mags if I'm dorking around, but even the weight of this is ridiculous in comparison to this. It's made so when the gun, I don't know if I can say this on eBay. I don't even know if eBay is gonna, or eBay, good grief. I need more caffeine. I don't know if YouTube's gonna spank me for this video as it is, but when you hit the magazine release button, it's made to be weighted so it just falls out, because this is seriously weighted. So, moving on. You can see here, these both have the square springs. And supposedly that does extend life substantially. I don't know, never had one of these fail. I've had standard Wilson Combat magazines fail. After a ton of usage, all springs get tired. Just happens. It's a disposable item. Okay. So we covered the Vickers. I love them in the gun. They hang out too much. They look dorky. 500 series. the Extreme Tactical Magazine. This was their flagship until they went with the Vickers. What do I think about these guys? I think they're great. I think they are, for all practical use, almost perfect. Size-wise, 8 round, 8 round, 8 round. Slim pad, 8 round, 8 round. Really, we're talking about a very negligible difference. The pad on the Vickers is still a little bit thicker. Does it help to clear malfunction? Probably. I've honestly never had a malfunction with either of them. Vickers is a lot more money. Sort of. So the Extreme comes in this configuration. The larger plastic base pad. Kind of similar to what the idea they were going with on the Vickers. You can grab it, rip it out. But it's big, it's bulky, it's a pain in the butt. And the standard spring. For the ones that I would carry, I upgraded the spring to the square spring. You can see there. I'm just not able to get the lighting the way I want it here. Now that's worse. Bat 1,000 here. All right, that's better. This is the square spring, so I upgraded that, and I upgraded the butt plate. I really like this. Do I like the Vickers a little bit more, seeing as it's closed and there's less opportunity in a belt mag carrier for the introduction of gross from everyday life? Yeah. So, unfortunately, these little fellas have been replaced by the Vickers. I still keep them. They're still bedside gun safe, range use. These are really about as close to perfect as you can get. I've had no issues with them. Absolutely love them. Less than the Vickers until you go and put the metal pad and the spring on them. But the Vickers is even more once you put the slimline pad on it. So now, why in the world is this thing here? Oh boy. Again, I'm gonna step into it on this one. This was a standard Wilson 47 magazine. That means it's a 7-round magazine.
He's just a little guy.
This one is upgraded with the extra power spring and the slim, very slim, base pad. Where's my Colts? Here, boy. You can see from even the factory Colt, this is a hair bit longer. So that spring isn't compressed quite as much. It does stick out of the gun a tiny amount. Am I wild about that? No. Is this considered to be the most reliable magazine for a 1911 on the face of the planet? Yeah, it is. The great one himself, Jason Burton, recommends this magazine and only this magazine. Clint Smith, we're going to go with the father of the great one. It's not really his dad, but we can say that. Recommends this magazine. Is it reduced capacity over the standard 8-round? Yeah. but could there be even a modest increase in reliability? Those who are far smarter than I am say yes. So playing on odds rarely ever being in my favor, luck rarely ever being in my favor, I carry the most reliable thing I can possibly have in the gun, given that I know when it's seated, this is additionally compressed down. God forbid I ever need to use this. I want to know it's going to function. I want it to be as reliable as it absolutely can be. 100%. Take cost out of it. 100%. I want it to be there. Is that to say I do not think these are reliable? No, I think these have been extremely reliable. I've had nothing but good luck with these, but people whose entire career depends upon the advice they give for reliability when putting out $12,000 1911, recommend this. Even Colt, even Colt begrudgingly admitted when they put out the new CQB, it came with these magazines. It did not come with their own branded magazines. I think there's something to be said for them. You may differ, and that's fine. This is just what I have found. I have never had a single solitary issue with the 7s. Not one. Especially when they're upgraded. I have worn springs out of some of my old range ones, but it's been years of range use. And at that point, I can't hate on them for that. Again, the spring internally is a disposable item. You're going to have to replace that. If it's a range magazine and you actually go to the range and train, you're going to have to replace them. I replace them every few years just as a preventative measure. Carry ones, I might do like every 5 years. Depends. You check them out. You take them to the range every now and again, run them. Which one is right for you? Is there anything wrong with any of them? Nope. Is the Vickers worth the money? Magazines are an interesting thing to gun people. And I'm always tickled when I see somebody that spends $3,000, $4,000 on a custom 1911, and then they turn into cheapskate McGee when it comes to the ammo and the magazines. And then they complain when their gun don't feed well. It's like, well, come on, man. You don't buy a Ferrari and put 86 octane in it, or oil that you found on the side of the road, or it's all a chain. You got to have it all decent. Would I pay for these again? For my application, I carry 2 of them on a belt. And it's not because I'm convinced I'm going to get into something ferocious. It's because things break. And your magazine is your weakest link. I want to be able to have that additional backup. If there is a failure with my magazine, great. You drop it, you move on to a new one. I would probably buy these again. If I had a mag carrier where the magazine came up to, let's say, here, do I see a need for these? No, I don't. My mag carriers sit a little bit lower, and I really like them, but it does leave some of this exposed. And I do notice when I go through and clean my magazines out, which you should do that, there is some fuzz and gunk and gross inside of them. Which, if you've never taken your magazine apart, it's simple. Put a Glock tool or just a push pin right in here. It snaps off, take the magazine out, or take the spring out, and you can clean out the magazine body. It's pretty simple. So, I think overall, 90% of people are probably going to be really good with these. Unless you don't clean your gear, unless you carry it with you in a working environment where it's going to get disgusting, which mine always do. I find these dramatically lessen the amount of gunk inside of my magazine. So in my mind, it's a bit of an increase in reliability. Whether it is truly or not, don't know. Never had an issue with these, but I did make sure to clean them. So take it for what it's worth. Guys, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Go to the range. Train. Shoot. Can't afford it? I get it. Ammo's expensive. But get yourself some dummy rounds. Dry fire. Get the Mantis kit. They're great. They work really well. When you're dry firing, do it safely. So, bye.